Although everybody's got the same 24 hours in a day, most of us in the construction industry only split the waking element of this into two parts. You're either working or you're getting ready to go to work again. Or that's what it feels like at least. So where's the time for anything else? Let me show you how to stop this cycle in less than 10 minutes. Hi, I'm Dan and I've been a quantity surveyor for over 10 years and I now run a 7-figure trade business. I started this channel to help people in construction avoid the mistakes we have and to show you exactly what's worked for us to build a profitable, sustainable business. If you're in construction and want to grow sustainably but with fewer headaches, you're in the right place. For years, my whole life was early starts, long days on site, then evenings sitting on the laptop, eating crap and just getting more and more stressed out. But I knew there was something better out there for me, either starting a subcontractor or refurbishing properties, just an ambition to change where I was. But I knew I had to work out where my actual time was going. Like transactions on a bank statement, when I actually examined it, I realised how much time was being wasted. And I made 6 key changes that helped me get my time back and put it to actual use. So if you're in construction, working long shifts and feel like you're constantly just recovering, this video is for you. Before we get into it, subscribe to our 31 Ways for 31 Days email series for our best bits of construction advice in under 1 minute. One email every day that you can read in under a minute that we promise will help your business. Right, let's get into today's video. First one, changing your existing habits. Most of us come home, jump on the couch and tell ourselves, I'll just sit down for 5 minutes. The next thing, it's 10:30 and you've done nothing but scroll and mess around in group chats or half watch some series on Netflix. But that's got to change and you already know that. But you have to realise that your actions have nothing to do with how you're feeling. Instead of saying, I'm too tired to do anything after work, you have to say, I'm tired, but I'm even more tired of this existence that I've got now, and I'm gonna change it. We've all worked a job being tired, but we've had to push through rain, wind, stress to get something done on site, and it's no different to building the lifestyle you want. The key is to prove to yourself that you can take action despite how you're feeling. Every time you do it, you strengthen that mental muscle. Your couch isn't where work gets done, it's where your ambition fades away. Don't always rush home first once you've finished. Once it's time to go home after a long day, you fight through rush hour traffic and you finally make it home and touch that couch and it's game over, you're done. And I get sometimes you need that, but here's what worked for me. Going to a hot desk office. When I need a quiet time, I book a couple of hours in these spaces. There's usually a good atmosphere in there with other entrepreneurs about, and it's a decent place to network as well, or at least trying to practice it. Packing a bag for the gym and going straight from work. This isn't about fitness either. It's a great place to have a think, especially if you're looking to do something with a business partner. You can really chew the fat while you're trying to work out. And a bonus one, I also used to stay in work after 5 and use their resources, although they probably thought I was working late. You'd only be sitting in traffic anyway, so why not just stay in work for the extra hour and try and get something done? It can all sound a bit cringy, but when you change your environment, you do change your behaviour. If your environment is literally too comfy, like the couch, you can't go back there until you've done what you need to do for that day. It can really help you stay focused. Using your morning brain. Evenings can be noisy, distracted, and you're often too tired after a day on the tools or the laptop. In the morning though, especially if you can get up early, they're a lot more quiet, undisturbed, no one's messaging, calling, you're not being as distracted. Even just 1 hour a day, it's a full work day added to each week. Think of the compounding effects of this, especially if you add another hour of a night. You're slowly adding 2 full work days into your week and you're slowly building that escape plan. I used to try doing everything of a night, but waking up an hour earlier and I've written policies, workflows, build templates, everything really, all before most people have woken up. You don't need to be a morning person either. You just need to get up an hour early and do the work. Respecting yourself. When you start out, you'll have to sometimes burn the candle at both ends, but doing this whilst running on crap food, no sleep and 3 coffees before lunch, it's just a recipe for disaster. I did this for years. 5 hours of sleep, poor eating, no exercise, just constantly tired, and I wondered why I struggled, and sometimes it was badly at times. But if you're not healthy, your time is even harder to utilise. You're always just trying to stay afloat rather than trying to move forward. But here's what you should do. Prioritise at least 7 hours of sleep. It has to be non-negotiable. It's the only way that you're going to recover, and it's something that can really help if you start to utilise it. Eating better and keeping processed food to a minimum. This is obviously a big one anyway at the moment, but when you're eating crap, literally your blood sugars go up, you just start to feel tired, and doing any work just feels like moving mountains. Starting to exercise a couple of times a week, even if you can do this with a friend just to make it a bit easier, just getting into that routine of getting some exercise twice a week, it really will help you in the long term. You know what, Con? Leave this in actually. Keeping the ale to a minimum. I don't care who you are, if you're drinking Friday, Saturday, you're not getting over that till probably like the Wednesday really. You're still working on 50% Monday, Tuesday. I'm not telling anyone how to live their lives, but you need to build a life where you don't feel you need to drink. Productivity you can get done on like the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It'll just change your life. Just try it for a couple of months. That for me is the one thing where you can genuinely get time back, because it just fucks everything up. Just when it comes to fitness, when I say to try and get in the gym, I'm not talking about getting a 6-pack. Far from it. I just mean being more physically fit. For years, when I was stressed and people had told me to exercise, I used to think to myself, how's running around the park going to help me sort the labour for next week? And it won't, but it will help you be able to deal with that stress. And that's what it's about. Because if the stress gets too much, you won't be able to cope and the business will fail. And that's the reality. Stop wasting time and use tools that will help you work faster. In construction, you don't guess. You measure twice and cut once. And you wouldn't dig a trench by your hand if you could help it. And the same applies to your time. When you first start doing quotes and reaching out to clients, I was wasting hours building templates from scratch, trying to look and sound professional. Now I just use tech, whether that's Xero for accounts or even our contractor suite. Our suite isn't rocket science, it's just systems and processes that all the best firms in the world use, but it's distilled into a format that smaller builders and subcontractors can use, so they can implement it straight into the business. It helps you work faster with over 500 templates, ensures all the formulas in the Excel documents are right, and you can download it instantly, and it just easily drops onto Office 365 for cloud access anywhere. It will save you hours every week, and that time goes straight back into your future goals. We've done videos of every single document being filled out, so you always know that you're doing it correctly. See the link in the description to our website where you can find out more. With Control in 1 hour. If you think everything I've said up to now, you just don't have the time for, remember, you haven't got to control every hour. You just need to start with protecting one. That hour might be a dedicated slot for planning your future business, going to meet potential clients or future staff, working on how you're going to deal with your cash flow in the early days. But it's all about building a habit of owning just 1 hour. You'll be shocked at what that hour becomes after a few months. It's not always about long 12-hour shifts. It's about doing what moves the needle even after a long shift. So to summarise everything we've been through today, change your existing habits, avoid the couch, use your mornings, respect your health, use tools that save you time, and own 1 hour every day. Those are 6 ways to stop wasting time and took back control even after long days in construction. If this video helped, you'll find even more free advice in our email series, the link's below, and watch another one of our videos here packed with even more helpful tips, and we'll see you in the next one.